afternoon. Peace is the path to the prosperity of a nation. Let peace reign. On the news this afternoon, Chairman Emoa Local Government Area Chidi Lloyd places 1 million naira bounty on suspected kidnapper Wadi Onuigwe. Port Harcourt residents react to incessant kidnappings in Eche Local Government Area. APC chieftain Femi Fani-Kayode reacts to US visa ban on Nigeria's election riggers. North Central governors, National Assembly members to meet President-elect party's NWC over National Assembly leadership. On the foreign scene, Amnesty International says number of executions recorded globally in 2022 is highest in 5 years. I am Constance Mega. The chairman of Emoa Local Government Area, Dr. Chidi Lloyd, has promised 1 million naira reward to anyone who assists in the arrest of a suspected kidnapper, Wadi Onuigwe. In an interview with correspondent Emeka Otuka, Dr. Lloyd said members of Emoha Vigilante Service (EMOVIS) will no longer be paid salaries until they apprehend Wadi. The council chairman declared Wadi wanted for allegedly masterminding kidnappings and other criminal activities in the area.
Have declared Wadi wanted, dead or alive, and a ransom of 1 million naira on any good citizen who provides information about his whereabouts. 1 million naira. Your identity will be treated with utmost fidelity. And we must put an end to this brigandage. People must be allowed free ingress and egress into the local government.
Well, the Emoha Council chairman also urged youths in the area to take advantage of different empowerment programs of his administration and shun courtism and other criminal activities.
The EMOVIS vigilante will not be paid any longer until Ward is brought to book. I have seized the salary for last month and they will not be paid because nobody will pay money for nothing. So that is what will happen until the EMOVIS and other security agencies are able to bring Wadi to book. No more salary for the vigilante service.
Recall that a policeman was shot dead at a checkpoint on Emoha axis of the East-West Road on Friday. And last month, the Emoha Council boss said that the leader of the disbanded OSPAC in Emoha local government area, Gift Ajuru, has been declared wanted by the River State government for alleged involvement in illegal oil refinery activities and other crimes in Ndele community. Meanwhile, the incessant kidnapping in parts of River State are now attracting comments from residents of the state. They made their observations on Nigerian 4FM's Hello Port Harcourt. Now, their comments come after the recent abduction of a 12-year-old schoolgirl on 11th May, where she was rescued 2 days later from a forest in Igwe-Che. Well, some callers blamed the menace on inadequate number of policemen in Eche local government area, while others blamed the leaders of Eche communities.
They don't set up roadblocks. These people will carry and kidnap victims and they will drive safe to their dens.
Now, what is the police doing over these issues about the chief? Now, the people's responsibility, what are they doing?
The boys that trade these actions are in the community. Even if there are some strangers who will come and join, the people from the community would be the one to show them the routes and how to go about. I'm saying this because I've been kidnapped before. I know how it was.
In the meantime, a magistrate court in Port Harcourt has remanded the former security guard, John Danjuma, who allegedly killed his former boss, a former director of administration at the University of Port Harcourt's Teaching Hospital, UPTH, in River State, Boma Jumbo. The chief magistrate, Colin Sally, after receiving a remand warrant from police on the case, remanded the suspect to Port Harcourt Correctional Centre and ordered the case file to be handed over to the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution for legal advice. The suspect did not take his plea since there was no preferred charge against him, and the presiding magistrate adjourned the case to 15th June for the DPP advice. Recall that the suspect, John Danjuma, said to hail from Nasarawa State, admitted in a video confession before the River State Criminal Investigations Department that he committed the crime. And moving on, commuters from the Waterlines Junction on Aba Road in Port Harcourt are still having a hard time accessing the GRA junction due to the barricade on a section of the busy Port Harcourt Aba Road. The blocked road leads to the head office of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. Now, as you may know, that section of the road was barricaded by security operatives posted to the INEC office during the 2023 general elections and has remained cordoned off weeks after the elections. Our correspondent observed that drivers divert to the other side of the road to get access to the GRA junction, causing heavy traffic, especially during the morning hours. Well, some drivers and traders around the area spoke to our correspondent.
The thing I don't take many people life here. Every day, 5, 6, 7, 10.
People don't die here don't pass 200. No be blue. Every blessed day. No day. On Saturday on the person died too. The second one happened yesterday Sunday. The person no die. He did military hospital. Break hand. Because not everybody don't know say na one way. Many people see the cross. They don't know say na one way.
How I wish I had the power. See that drum there. I forgot come out time. Saturday, want to kill somebody. My customers them. One policeman. The same thing. The road is causing accidents. Serious accidents. Every day we do experience accidents. The next year we shout, hey! Hey! Motor will just take breaks. It's causing a lot of problems. We that is staying here, we are tired of seeing blood.
They, however, appealed to the Rivers State Commissioner of Police, Okon Effiong, to intervene. Elsewhere, the Bayelsa State government says it is going ahead with a court process to reclaim its properties demolished in Port Harcourt by the Rivers State government. The Bayelsa State Commissioner for Lands, Housing and Urban Development, Esau Andrew, said this during an interview on Arise TV. Mr. Andrew also said the Rivers State government flouted the Supreme Court order by going ahead with the demolition of its properties in Port Harcourt.
The first notice served on Bayelsa State in 2021 in a way by the conduct of the governor of Rivers State has been vitiated. Definitely, the 19th April 14 days notice and the May 2nd 7 days notice has no basis legally to stand and warranted Rivers State government to have demolished those properties because first notice has been overtaken by that cordiality. We have already approached Supreme Court and then the notices has already been served on Rivers State government.
Mr. Andrew described as flimsy the reasons given by the Rivers State government for the demolition.
What is the ecstatic look of that old GRA that those two properties has the face? It is actually so disturbing and very unfortunate that a very flimsy excuse will be taken to demolishing government properties. Is there gold mine or crude oil deposit in number 5 and 9 Akasa Street that have warranted Wiki to have rushed to demolish those properties? Or is it actually a political vendetta or a payback to Senator Doye Diri? The properties belong to Bayelsa State, not Senator Doye Diri.
Well, as you may know, the Rivers State government on Friday demolished the two properties of the Bayelsa State government located at number 5 and 9 Akasa Street, Old GRA, Port Harcourt. And in a statement, the Rivers State Ministry of Lands and Survey said the demolition was because the buildings were constituting public nuisance and defacing the urban renewal infrastructural development policies of the area. To other stories now. The Federal Road Safety Corps, FRSC, says over 40,000 people die yearly as a result of road crashes in Nigeria. Corps Marshal Dauda Biu, who spoke in Abuja, said 1.3 million people across the world were killed and about 50 million people get injured each year globally. The federal government has described the planned warning strike by the Nigerian Association of Resident Doctors as unnecessary. The Minister of Labour, Dr. Chris Ngige, said the parent body of the Nigerian Medical Association is already engaging with relevant government agencies on the issue. Well, the resident doctors say they will commence a warning strike tomorrow over poor remuneration and better welfare for their members, among other concerns. Still ahead, APC chieftain Femi Fani-Kayode reacts to U.S. visa ban on Nigeria's election riggers. Stay tuned.
A clean surrounding is a collective effort.
Diseases could be avoided
with good hygiene practice. Be more responsible with how you dispose waste products. The environment will be better looking.
The North Central Governors Forum and National Assembly members have resolved to meet with the President-elect Bola Tinubu and the party's National Working Committee (NWC) to express their grievances over the zoning arrangements of the National Assembly leadership. Well, those present at the meeting include Governor Simon Lalong of Plateau State, Governor Abdulrahman Abdulrazak of Kwara State, Governor Abdullahi Sule of Nasarawa State. And as part of the move to stop the party's preferred candidates, the meeting is actually part of the move to stop the party's preferred candidate. The outgoing Senate President, who is from Yobe State, Ahmed Lawan, had last week instituted a probe against Akpabio over allegedly questionable unapproved expenditure in the NDDC. A former president of the Nigerian Bar Association, Olisa Agbakoba, says there is no constitutional process to delay the inauguration of Bola Tinubu as Nigeria's president on 29th of May 2023. In a statement, the senior advocate of Nigeria said the inauguration of Tinubu is bound to happen under a constitutional process despite the petitions against the APC candidate and president-elect at the tribunal in Abuja. A chieftain of the APC, Femi Fani-Kayode, has reacted to a report that the United States has imposed a visa ban on Nigerians who undermined the recently concluded general elections in the country. In a statement, the former aviation minister wants the Nigerian government to consider the possibility of doing the same to nationals of countries that have implemented and announced the visa ban. Where Fani-Kayode insists that only Nigerian courts can determine if the elections were rigged. Today is the International Day of the Boy Child, also called the World Day of the Boy Child. It is marked 16th May every year to raise awareness on the need to protect the boy child from harmful societal influences. It is aimed at focusing on the well-being of the boy, including his emotions, values, and transition into manhood. Well, this year's theme is Boys and Mental Health. In business, on 29th May, President Muhammadu Buhari will leave behind an inflation rate of 22.22%, the highest in about 17 years. The National Bureau of Statistics released the last consumer price index in the life of the current administration. And in the figures released by the NBS, inflation went up from 22.04% to 22.22% in April, in continuation of its upward trend. In entertainment, Adeyinka Olumide Fusika, who is the lawyer to Afrobeat singer Seun Kuti, has raised an alarm over the alleged starvation of his client, who was detained by the Nigerian police. In a statement today, Olumide Fusika also faulted an investigation conducted by Lagos State Police Public Relations Officer Benjamin Hundeyin on the incident. He also alleged that the singer's wife was refused the privilege of delivering a meal to her husband. Well, recall that the Afrobeat musician was on Monday arrested and handcuffed after he honored an invitation by the police on allegation of assault of a police officer. In sports, 6 months after the death of the footballer Pelé, Brazil has opened his gilded football-turfed tomb to the public. Pelé, who died on 29th December at age 82 after a battle with cancer, was laid to rest at the Ecumenical Memorial Cemetery in Santos, Brazil. It is a high-rise 14-story mausoleum that holds the Guinness World Record for the tallest cemetery on Earth.
And now, we'll bring you news from around the world.
Amnesty International says the number of executions recorded globally in 2022 was the highest in 5 years. A total of 883 people are known to have been put to death across 20 countries, marking a rise of 53% compared to 2021. Iran, Saudi Arabia, and Egypt alone carried out 90% of those executions, while the figures exclude China, which is thought to execute thousands each year. Well, that's the news. But before we go, another look at the highlights of the major stories. On the news this afternoon, you heard that the chairman of Emoa local government area, Chidi Lloyd, has placed a 1 million naira bounty on a suspected kidnapper, Wadi Onuigwe. Some Port Harcourt residents have reacted to the incessant kidnappings in Eche local government area. APC chieftain Femi Fani-Kayode has called on the Nigerian government to reciprocate the U.S. visa ban on Nigerian election riggers. North Central governors and National Assembly members are to meet the president-elect and the party's NWC over National Assembly leadership. On the foreign scene, Amnesty International says the number of executions recorded globally in 2022 is the highest in 5 years. The news was edited by Onyeka Chinwosu. Mostly cloudy weather in Port Harcourt this afternoon. Peace is the path to the prosperity of a nation. Let peace reign. My name is Constance Mega. Thank you so much for listening. Do stay tuned. Coming up next is The Sunny Side.